Welcome back to another episode of the Top of Off Cricket Podcast. I am your host, Kevin Henry. And as usual, we are talking everything West Indies cricket. With me is Sam and Walter. So, fellas, during the last episode, we kind of made a mistake and we need to correct what we said with regards to Craig Brathwaite, right? I think it's only fair to Top of Off Cricket fans and to the wider public who might come across the video at some point in time, right? So what we were saying, and I think our language was kind of hinting to the point that Craig wanted to resign after the first test, after that heavy defeat in Pakistan. That is not what actually took place. What happened is he reached out to Dr. Shallow, president of the West Indies Cricket Board, and said, look, I would like to announce my resignation. I will continue to be captain for the rest of the tour, but I wanted to do it now. But Dr. Shallow kind of talked him out of it to a more opportune time. So that is where we are with regards to that. Given the fact that Craig wanted to announce his resignation on the tour, Sam, do you think that would have been a good time for him to do it?
Personally, I have no problem with that. Once the cricket board was fine with him resigning, I don't have a problem with him resigning at the end of that Pakistan tour. Now, of course, when he broached this to Dr. Shallow, he did not know that West Indies would have won the second test. But we can all agree that for him to have resigned at the end of that series on a high was quite fine. But what I think happened, is that Dr. Shallow, looking out for West Indies cricket or Cricket West Indies, said, look, no, this is not the right time for you and the organization. So this is not simply about Craig. This is also about the organization. And I give Dr. Shallow that, yes? And I think out of courtesy, Craig, reached out to him and said, here is what I want to do. That was the polite thing. That was the right thing for a leader to do. Yes, here is what I want to do. But what I think happened is that Dr. Shallow, recognizing that at the end of March, there is going to be a press conference and Darren Sammy is going to be presented to the cricketing world now as the all-format coach. Dr. Shallow saw that as the precise or the opportune time to then say, look, Craig Brathwaite will be stepping down as captain. So I think this was more about the West Indies organization than about Brathwaite.
I thought that was great leadership and guidance on the part of Dr. Shallow, right? Walter, do you think the first test had anything to do with that heavy loss? Had anything to do with Craig wanting to make that announcement on tour?
I think it was the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back. Right? I think that this is as we talked about, the 22 losses that Craig had were heavy. And I think that was a heavy defeat. It was embarrassing. It just thinking back about it is one of those losses that was hard. And I'm actually happy that we actually followed up and won the next test match. But I think that and I've said before that the captaincy of West Indies is a poison chalice. And I was thinking, like the captaincy of West Indies reminds me of a single mother with 10 children. Right? And with no education. So basically lack of resources and making ends meet, and every now and then one of those children graduate from high school, one of them go to university every now and then. So the pressures of being a captain of West Indies cricket team is immense from Adam. But with the fact that we've been losing, I understand why he wanted to say, I'm done. I'm just done. As a fan, I've a lot of times I've said, I'm never watching West Indies cricket again. I'm not talking about West Indies cricket. I'm just imagining Craig Brathwaite there and losing in the dressing room. I think, you know what? He's like, I done with these. I done. Same thing was happening to Haley today, but we talk about it later.
Listen,
But guys,
the amount of
this
time.
brings us back.
Go ahead, Sam.
This brings us back to the point I made when this story broke. And it is clear now that Craig Brathwaite is saying to Dr. Shallow, look, I want to announce my resignation. Yes? On this tour. I think that was Craig Brathwaite again, playing dead to see what funeral he would get. And that was the opportune time for Dr. Shallow to say, no, hold on, young man. Hold on. I don't know that this fits into our long-term plan. Was that the conversation? Maybe not. So who knows if Brathwaite was hearing chattering? Because remember now, you can't be captain of the West Indies team and a Bajan at that and not be hearing certain chattering about, maybe they want to remove you or what have you. So who knows? That was the opportune time for Dr. Shallow to say, no, sir, we want you to be here for the Australian tour. That's all I have to say.
I notice you're maintaining your Australian tour thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But for the simple fact that there's no clear leader for the thing. Well, after this 4-day thing, we might have a different conversation. But at the time, why disrupt the party?
Listen,
anyway,
hold on,
Kevin.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Check this out, right? There's two things that could have happened here, and we always saying two things can be true, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Craig Brathwaite, based on how he bats, a lot of people compares his batting to his captaincy, right? And for that, they don't like him. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I go into the comments of Top of Off and I see some things that are written, that is like basically the message that you get, right? Now, I think Craig Brathwaite, it would have weighed on him prior to the first test, saying, I think it's time for me to go. I think I've ran my course. I think I've taken this ship as far as I can take it. And it's time for someone else to step up and, collect the baton and run with it. And I think the first test, the heavy defeat, kind of hastened his decision to want to make an announcement, right? Not to quit on tour, but make an announcement to say, well, look, this is where I am. This is where I am. This is what I intend to do. And like we said, kudos to Dr. Shallow for talking him down from making that announcement, because I personally don't think that would have been the opportune time. But I do believe the first test kind of stung, and there was a little bit of emotion involved in there. And he said, you know what? Let me just say what I got to say right now. Kind of get some things off my chest in terms of, look, I've ran my course. I'm going to step down at the end of the tour. You were going to say something, Walter.
I know. I kind of understand where Sammy coming from.
Yeah.
I understand where Sammy coming from, and yeah, I understand. I'll keep it at that. I understand where he's coming from, and yeah.
Look, listen. We have talked about all we can talk about with regards to this whole Craig Brathwaite scenario, because from the beginning, a lot of people weren't in favor of him being captain, but it's not who people are in favor of. It's who Cricket West Indies are in favor of. You understand? The only thing we can do is support, and that we did. We supported him. I know I supported him wholeheartedly as a West Indian, but it's time to put that wood down and talk about some things more in the future. Something that is happening right now. big match in the 4-day tournament going on, which is for all intents and purposes, it's a final, right? Guyana, the Harpy Eagles versus the Red Force. And so far, at the end of the day, Trinidad 7 wickets down. I think it's 216, if I'm not mistaken, for 7.
214 for 7.
214 for 7. 214 for 7. Great start by Tevin Imlach and his boys. Great start. I will say that, right? I don't like how they finished, but they started well. To have Trinidad, the Red Force, 96 for 5. But we couldn't quite get it over the hump. I was hoping that we could have bowled them out today.
Yeah.
With everybody talking about, Imlach. What's his name again? De Silva. Imlach, De Silva. Everybody's throwing around Imlach and De Silva. Well, let me not say everybody, but a lot of people are throwing around Imlach and De Silva. Based on how today went, what are your thoughts on Imlach's captaincy today? Sam?
If I may jump in, now guys, we all work, right? So I'm not sitting down to cricket. And Wednesdays are especially long for me, right? But what I normally do when I get a chance, when I was having my lunch, I would skip through. I would look at different, especially the Jamaica match, the Guyana Trinidad match. I look at those, skip through, and especially at periods where somebody gets out, right? I especially like to tune in on that and see how they got out and what have you. So for me, there are two things. And Kevin, I don't know if you had a chance to watch it afterwards or what, but two things are concerning to me. In terms of the bowling, Niall Smith had 5 overs at one point, right? I don't know, I mean, with all due respect to Imlach, but my question is, did he on the bowl Niall Smith? Did he leave him out to the bowling for a little too long? And when he brought him back, he very quickly got the wicket of, who was it?
Silva.
Pierre, I think, yeah. He got him. So that's one concern I have. The second concern I have is the dismissal of De Silva. I don't know if you saw it, but I'm wondering too. I mean, it was a brilliant catch by Kevin Sinclair. I think was it at second or third slip thereabout. But still, I'm wondering what the rush. If you look at this tournament, I don't know if baseball is the thing now that everybody needs to be going fast. And because if you watch later down in the game, Trinidad actually had a run rate of somewhere under 2, like between 2 and 3. No, not somewhere under 2, under 3. So like 2 point something. And that was fine. Just take your time. But early up, there was this rush that I couldn't understand. And I don't know that De Silva, that was a shot that he should have played. I stand corrected if you guys see something different.
KV.
Yeah.
Sorry jumping in. I try not for sinners, but KV, you know where I'm going. Boys can't bat the ball when it's swinging. Look. See for Scoopy LBW, but come on, Puran. Caught Imlach, bull Paul behind the stump. Army Django a side mouth.
Yep.
Going away, caught Imlach. Perez, I don't know if he was free. I didn't see how Jason Mohammed out. I didn't know if he was his slips. But Joshua De Silva caught in his slips. Kerry Pierre battled well, caught him. Yeah. So as Kevin been saying, this ball change and boys who make 500 and something runs suddenly can't bat. So long periods, that is.
Check this out. I thought it was a smart idea today because they did not start with Niall Smith. They did not start with their quickest bowler, right? What Imlach did was he went with his two bowlers who can move the ball. Smith is a hit the deck bowler, right? He's not really a swing bowler. He hits the deck hard. Kemo Paul, I thought, was brilliant in that first spell.
Very well played. Bull, very
This
good,
is the best I've seen Kemo Paul bowl in ages.
In a while.
You understand me? This was good, proper test match bowling. And that is why these young men struggled. Because they caught up with good old test match, line and length, ball moving late. And they struggled. Most of the wickets that fell today, the catches were taken behind the wicket. That tells you something. You understand? People are moving their foot. People playing at deliveries. They got no. People are moving their foot. People playing at deliveries. They ain't got no business playing at. You understand? So I wouldn't say he underbowled Niall Smith. I thought he bowled them smartly, right? I thought he bowled them. He used them wisely, and it showed.
Okay.
But so
I have to ask the question because again, having 5 wickets down for, as you said, 90 odd, and then for them guys to put on some runs to settle in, was just a concern for me at that time.
Kevin and Sammy, I'm not going to jump the gun like how I jumped the gun the last time and said that how Lee Woods would have beat Guyana even though they got the first innings point and they dropped a set of catches and then played smart cricket that they could have won and could have Guyana out of the game if they had played smarter. However, what I and Kevin, I like the fact that, like, from a regional cricket, from a West Indian standpoint, that Guyana did not bowl out Trinidad today. I like the fact that Jai Gooley has batted 151 balls. I like the fact that Kerry Peer batted 100 balls. Terrence Hine, I think he gave it away, right? And so there's the fact that there is some fight, right? And that's what I want to see. I would honestly like to see Joshua James Joshua James and Brian Charles and Jai Gooley go on to make over 300 runs for Guyana, like from a West Indian cricket standpoint. That's what I want to see. I would like to see Trinidad make 350 and Guyana go and score and try to go past that. That's what I want to see properly. We're not going to get nothing from Shannon Gabriel, but the rest of these people need to bat properly.
And that is what you want to see. You understand? Because I think what happened, and I agree with you, Sammy. It was disappointing the way how De Silva got out because the pitch only gets better, and it showed. You understand? The pitch is better to bat on now. Gooley's got 50 odd not out. Kerry Peer made 30 something. Had Terrence Hines showed some more brain, he would have probably still been at the wicket because that was a mindless shot that he played. He played not a big drive, but he hung his bat out to dry a few overs before that, and Kevin Sinclair couldn't get his fingers under it. You understand? So I don't think it was smart batting. And all the wicket requires you to do is just spend some time, which is, for some reason, West Indian batsmen don't believe that if they spend time at the crease, they're going to make runs. How many more times Shiv Narai Chandapal need to say you can't make runs if you're not at the wicket? How many more times Shiv need to say that?
And Kevin, I know I jump in the gun, and I think you are looking on the next game again. Jamaica bowled out for 133. Boys not batting.
Windward Islands were bowled out for 106.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, with the Jamaica thing, I especially look to see how King got out. And the beauty about this thing on YouTube is that you can rewind and you can view things.
Yeah.
Again, bat and pad were not together.
Yeah.
Big gap, so the ball goes in and he's castled.
That is a problem
right? I'm
Brandon King
looking.
has, and he has had for a long time. I've seen him get out in that manner. He's actually, whenever he plays one day or T20 cricket, he's attacked in that area. You understand? He's attacked regularly. Something else I noticed today. Josh De Silva, I think it was his first or second delivery that he faced from Kimo Paul. Now, Josh De Silva has this way where his bat starts around gully and it goes towards mid-wicket. And that is exactly where the ball went, where his bat went when Kimo Paul pitched up to him. And I'm thinking to myself, are we going to change some things? You know, Australia coming, they already know if you are selected, right? If you are selected, they're going to attack you in that same area. Why are we not change? Why are we not? I can't say he's not working and trying to change things, right? I can't say that but some habits are hard to break, and especially when you're new to the crease, you've got to be mindful. Because when Kimo Paul bowled that ball and his bat went from gully to mid wicket and the ball squirted out someplace else and Kimo threw his hands up in the air because you knew what happened. He bowled for it. He was trying to get him plumb in front. Right? So
You know, guys, taking all that, looking at the scores, right? Looking at the scores around, I am saying this. If I were West Indies Cricket Board, Darren Sammy and the West Indies Cricket Board think tank. What am I doing? I'm giving after these guys have finished over the weekend, I'm giving the test the people that will not play in the who will not be part of the T20 tournament and are not going anywhere. I'll be like and are playing and we know that I'm giving you a week off and I'm starting my camp and my training for Australia within a week or two from now. And I'm picking 25 people, 25 people, and I'm having them play amongst each other, at least 3 matches. And we know the South Africa tour is coming up. Something along the line needs to happen. Everybody who's playing that Australia tour need to be playing some level of competitive cricket.
yeah.
If you're not in England, we have to find a way. Listen to me.
And here's a suggestion. Let
Yeah.
them encamp in Barbados, given what that pitch has shown in recent times. Let them go to Barbados and deal with some fast bowling. The first test is there too.
Here's this. Let this be the last topic of the episode. Here is something that bothers me. Right? Kemar Roach has gone to England. He's playing. Jaden Seals has gone to England. He's playing. Anderson Phillip has gone to England. Well, he had some paperwork issues, so he couldn't play in the first match that Lancashire played, right? But all these are West Indies. These are core West Indies pace. I think Alzari is gone off to the PSL, if I'm not mistaken, right? Everybody's getting reps and sets, right? Alzari had a nice 4 or 5 games of first class cricket. A lot of miles under his legs. He's prepared, right? Shamar Joseph is cooling his heels in Lucknow. Last year, same thing happened. Cooling his heels in Lucknow, and we got a tour to England. This cannot be ideal preparation for one of your best fast bowlers. And I'm sitting there wondering, what were the discussions between Shamar's agent, Shamar, West Indies Cricket Board? What's in the best interest of Shamar right now? Could they have found a county to take him? Would he have been best served playing in the West Indies in the first class championship? Now, I know it's a money thing. I got it. But what about his long-term career? You understand? Shamar's got to be
Kevin.
careful. Remember he said, West Indies cricket come first. After that second test, he's got to be careful. He was bold. He has got to be careful. Now, we know when people come and they dangle a check in front of you, you got decisions to make. Everybody got their price.
The man got life-changing money, fellas. But I'll say this, though. Again, I'll keep harping on the fact that we need to think outside of the box. So if I were West Indies cricket and I would have spoken to his agent, try to have a conversation with Lucknow. If you're not going to play him, could we have him playing some competitive cricket somewhere in India, something along the line, doing something? Are we having them? Is he having following a specific regimen? It's up to him. He could get leg. I sure Lucknow get like a extremely good facilities. He needs to start working in that. I would have gone if I were him, and I would have been bowling a number of overs for myself.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing, Walter. Shamar, when he left here, he wasn't in the best of health. He played, what was that? One game for Guyana. He was supposed to play another game, but because he wasn't in the best of health.
You remember who he played against?
The CCC. He played against the CCC. He bowled about 15 overs, went for over 100 runs. I think he picked up 2 or 3 wickets. But he didn't bowl particularly well.
15, 3 for 115 and 2 for 28.
Yeah.
Against CC.
So this thing is not about bowling in the nets. You understand me? This is about playing actual cricket matches, responding to actual real life situations that are in front of you. You can bowl 100 ball in the nets, and it could never equate to 1 over in an actual match. You understand me? It's a totally different thing.
Well, my view on it, I take the point, Kevin. I would love to see him in a county lineup.
Yeah.
You know, I think last year we all saw with Seals being out there and then having that tour in England, yes? And as I understand it, I think Seals made like what, about 70,000 US or what have you. So you can make money playing county cricket, right?
How much money I think in the IPL though, as compared to $70,000?
It is right now.
Of course.
Hold on. The contract that Shamar got right now is not much significant than that figure that Sammy called there. You understand? Okay. What they got him for the last time, because of he didn't go there. I think he only played 1 or 2 matches, and they went back and it looks like they said, okay, well, this is what we're gonna bid for him. He didn't get that $300,000 that or whatever the number was the last time. It is significantly low. You understand?
Yeah.
And I'm sure a county team probably would have paid him some amount, somewhat similar to that.
Yeah, they would be willing to pay him that.
But my main concern at this time is his health, you know. And so I'm not going to be too hard on him sort of resting right now. I think he rests. He has good doctors, I'm assuming, that can look at him and give him advice and what have you. And perhaps for the South African tour, we can bring him back in the mix-up then. I think he should be at the IPL. When is the South African?
No, the IPL will still be going on. The IPL is not scheduled to be finished, I think, till end of May, early June or something of that sort.
May 25th.
May 25th.
May 25th?
Yeah.
May 25th.
Oh, wow.
What am I doing is that I am trying to get him into. When is the South Africa tour?
It begins mid-May.
So I'm finding a way to get
him back, man. They could bring him back. I'm
finding a way to get him there.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that he's going to be unprepared. This is test match cricket.
as related to that as well, though. But it's funny things that you said, and there's a problem with West Indies cricket again, and that's why I said what I said earlier that we need to have our batsmen, but playing cricket or playing competitively. You see, all of our, that's why our bowling attack is strong.
Yeah.
The same thing that happened last year. Those bowlers, and that's why you could see the improvement in Seals and his countrymen. We don't have our batsmen are not going anywhere. But who paying them? Which county team paying them for go there?
Here's another thing that irritated me. Couldn't Sussex and Lancashire or the Cricket West Indies have a conversation with Sussex and Lancashire and say, hey, look, our season is coming to an end. There are 2 matches remaining. Jaden and Anderson and Kimar. Well, I ain't too worried about Kimar, but I'm more so about Jaden and Anderson. Can we hold on to them for a couple of weeks, and then they'll come over? Because these 2 matches are important.
Because it would have made this match much more interesting.
Exactly.
This match would have, because I want to see, because Kimo Paul and Ronaldo, we both our bowling attackers they actually bowl well. I would have loved to see our batsmen, Imlak and the whole of them, and all of them, and not doing the whole of them. Who they're saying is this
against Steels and Phillip.
Yes. And because whenever Seals and Phillips in the team, Joshua gets more confidence. Like, and he bowls. Yeah, so he like he get my big brother them behind me, and me.
He's not looked at as the leader of the attack. Now he can come in and feed off of the 2 of them. You understand?
Yeah.
But good convo tonight, fellas. Interesting things with regards to Craig and his resignation. The state of the 4-day, the final round of the 4-day, Shamar and where he is currently in terms of his fitness, Anderson, Phillip, and Jaden Seals in England when we think they should have been in the West Indies still playing and finishing up the first class tournament, because I think our first class tournament should matter first and foremost, right? It should take precedence. But I get it. Money got to be made, right? So,
and it's county cricket.
It's county cricket.
If
right?
it's IPL, is a
different thing.
I don't mind them doing that.
I absolutely, I don't. I don't. But they'll be back for the Test series. Go ahead, Walter.
One quick thing before we didn't mention the Leeward Islands game, and they are 270 for 5, and I would love to see them again carry this to 4 something. Again, I must
say this. Early up in the evening, I was having a good look at Andrew, and up until the point that he got out, it was a weak dismissal. He batted really well. You understand? He batted well up until that point. He got strangled, looking for a pull shot, but it was a good half century by him. 18 years old. Competing against grown men, playing without fear. I love to see it.
Is he a generational talent?
I don't think he's a generational talent. I think that's too strong of a word to use, generational. The only person I think in recent history that has been generational is Brian Lara. And no one will ever come close to
it.
Huh?
Not Hetty. Hetty wasn't there too?
No, Hetty wasn't. Hetty's an exciting batsman. You understand? This kid is brave. This kid is fearless. That's where I am with it. But generational, you're talking Brian Larry, talking Richards. You understand me? You're talking Sir Garfield Sobers. Anyways, fellas, looking forward to the next meetup on Sunday night. I got to get to bed. It's been a good one. Catch y'all later.
Take it easy. All right, fellas. Cool. All right. Out.